Yesterday, I was browsing on my computer when God came to me and told me,
Brian, you're in the wrong career field. You should be in animation.
so I called my boss and told him I quit. And when he asked why, I said, just start watching TV and one day you'll understand. So now that I quit my job, there's only one thing I gotta do to be a professional animator. Learn to animate, and I should probably learn to draw. See, what really draws me into animation is the storytelling aspect of it. I've always wanted to try to do something like that. You know, movies like Wolfwalkers or How to Train Your Dragon, they both move me to tears. So because I've never actually animated before, my first thought was to find an image online that I could use and animate on top of that. As I was scrolling through all these simple cartoon characters, I settled on what I didn't know at the time was a super complex character that I wish I never saw. So I imported my image into Photoshop, and I'm pretty sure this is a ChatGPT generated image, but I didn't care because I thought it was pretty cool anyway, and this is really an animation challenge. So I had to really just do a lot of work to try to separate this middle image that I liked a lot from all the other ones, and it took me way longer than I thought it was going to, and it didn't look super great. But here I am just kind of trying to use the generative AI from Photoshop to fill in her arm, but that one didn't look too bad. Now I'm just trying to do generative fill again. You could see, man, that was terrible, huh? Like, what the hell even was that? So we're just trying to separate the feet. Now I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna do it myself then if AI can't do it for me. So I kind of put her foot in there, did a little bit of that. I was like, oh, you know what? It's starting to look like actually something I might be able to do a little bit here. And I just kind of separated her hair out. You know, it made it look like a PNG, which should have a transparent background, but it was a fake transparent background. So now that I got my image all looking good, I was like, oh, this looks pretty good, but something off about her legs. You could see it doesn't really match her proportions very well. So I was just kind of going in here, doing some touches, some feathering. As you could see, generative AI in Photoshop still needs a lot of work. So I just manually started using the clone tool or pattern stamp tool to just kind of go through it. I'm making her shoe look better. And I eventually got to a point that I was like, you know, I'm proud of this. Like, this looks pretty good. I didn't draw it, but you know, I had to do a lot of photo manipulation in order to do it. And here I was just kind of looking at what does it look like when you're walking? Because you know, you think you might know what it looks like when you're walking, but I actually completely forgot what walking looks like. Generative AI just does not work at all. So I just had to do a lot of tweaking, and eventually I got to a point where I was happy with it. So I decided, yep, it's ready for animation. So I found that there's just so many different animation softwares. I mean, I was getting overloaded, like too many. I decided if I wasn't gonna just choose one, I probably wasn't gonna do it at all. So I went with what professionals use, because I'm now a professional animator. So I went with Toon Boom Harmony, which has a free trial. I decided to just do the free trial to see if it was really right for me. So I imported my image into that free trial, and I got to work.
Hello and welcome. In this video, I'll be showing you how I made this walk cycle.
So at this point, I decided to boot up Toon Boom Harmony and activate my free trial and just kind of start trying to see what I can animate. Don't use that email address for anything. And then I created my scene, 24 frames a second, and I compared it to the tutorial scene. You can see it already doesn't look the same. I mean, first, my character is all saturated, and second, his character is way more simple. I was a little nervous, but following the tutorial, I was doing the puppet method, which means that you outline your character. So I outlined her head and her eyes, and I'm separating it all into different layers. So each each arm, each leg, the knees, the neck, the shoulders, each has its own outline that you draw. This way you can do it so you can, instead of drawing frame by frame, you could just make it as a puppet. So you could just like move the arm and the whole arm would move. I thought that was kind of neat, but as I was doing this, I was like, mine's not really working out the way his is, and he has a front version, a front view, and mine's like a side view, and I was kind of getting nervous this wasn't going to work. So I decided to, just look at the rest of the tutorial video when I realized this thing is 17 parts. What the hell? My God. Yeah, no, I decided to not do that there and try to go at a different method. So the puppet method wasn't going to work out, and I went back to the internet to see what was recommended. Okay, so I spent like 2 or 3 days on Toon Boom Harmony before I decided to cut my losses. Sometimes it's better to cut your losses than to keep going down that path, which was the right choice. So now, got my iPad here, got my iPad pencil, and I have Procreate, which is a great drawing app anyway, and they can do animation now. So I think I'm just gonna go back to do frame by frame animation, but first, I'm gonna practice some drawing. Just do some simple drawings, just to actually use my own drawings, I think would be better. So that's what we're gonna do. Hello. So now that I've done some drawing, it's time to think of an idea. So I've been playing The Last of Us, the new game, for a while. So I think I'm going to do it based on The Last of Us. I think I'm just going to do like a Joel and Ellie little animation. Nothing too simple. I mean, nothing too hard, I should say. So I have an idea in my head. So now I'm going to try to animate it. Really, Procreate was pretty easy to animate in. It's just frame by frame, so I just had to draw these same pictures like 100 times. What really helped was really understanding forms with this. So like all the different positions that someone could be in, it kind of helps benefit your drawing too. So I'm glad I decided to draw my own, because I don't think it would have turned out the same. So this whole animation took me like a week and a half, and it's just terrible. So without further ado, here's the final animation.
Ellie, you know the first rule of stealth? Murder? No, Ellie, bad. It's stay low, don't be seen.
Hey, who's over there?
Murder, 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 murder.
Yeah, so that wasn't very good, was it? So it didn't really turn out the way I wanted to. I definitely moved the goalpost a bunch of times, but as terrible as it was, I'm proud of that. It took me like a week and a half of work. And I learned a lot. I learned things like keep it simple, don't try to do puppet, don't download the most professional software as soon as you start. And if I could go back and do it again, I'd probably start with the basics, like the bouncing the ball animation, but I just didn't really want to, because I wanted to just make something. So I probably would do that. What really helped me was just the frame by frame animation is super simple to get started with. So if you haven't animated before, I'd say you start with that for sure. And it helps with your drawing too. So if you're scared to start animating because you don't know how to draw, I don't know how to draw, but I did it, and I feel like my drawing got better because of it, because you had to draw every single different position that someone was going to be in throughout the animation life. So it was really fun. I think I'm probably going to make another video and come back to this and do it right with maybe some more intentional learning, where I actually focus on the basics and try it again. But for now, I need a break. So if you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe, or don't. I don't care. I'm not your mother, but appreciate it anyway, and have a good one.